Welcome to a few moments with Wisdom Word. And today we're talking about a new series that we started on Sunday, April 13th. It's a 10-week series. It's a teleconference that you can listen into. It's called Amplifying Discernment in Times of Change. And I think that, first of all, discernment is so important. It's a higher frequency vibration of judgment or discrimination. So this is the higher frequency vibration where we're moving into wholeness. When we're in judgment or discrimination, we're like, this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. But once we get into discernment, we get into more of a holistic picture where we can really pierce through and we can kind of pierce through to the core energy of things and understand more succinctly, more in a refined way, how something fits into the whole picture, how something fits into the whole of life, of circumstance, of what's going on in the moment. And discernment can help us then respond to the energies around us rather than reacting. So we actually are in a time of high frequency and a higher amplification of energies. We are in a time where things seem to be moving so much faster for everybody, and change is a major factor. And so to be able to navigate these times of change, to make movements and to discern what is the correct move for you in a moment, what's the response that's going to serve the highest good and serve your highest good. And so this is where we need that ability to cut through with that laser-like awareness and get through all the fog and all the noise and all the activity in the outer world that is also responding or reacting to the change. So as we navigate these changes of frequency and we work more deeply with this divine feminine energy that's coming through, and resetting and rebalancing the world and moving the collective to a higher consciousness, then we actually do need, on an individual level, ways to keep us centered and ways to help us make the choices that are going to be the best for our spiritual growth, for our contentment, for greater movement towards peace and compassion. So I love the word discernment, and to meditate on it and to understand it and how it can be helpful in my movements and my choices. So it's that ability to understand or perceive really clearly. And to get there, we have some foundational principles and some foundational actions that we can take to help us really get to that place of spiritual discernment, of higher discernment. And that would be meditation and mindfulness. I think mindfulness is one of the most powerful foundational building blocks to get us to these places of clarity, because with mindfulness, you certainly pull yourself into the moment by noticing what's going on in the moment, by noticing what's around you, by bringing your physical self and your mental self and your emotional self all together in one place. So, for example, if you're rushing around and you have something on your mind and you're worried about getting to work on time, you kind of completely miss, and you go on sort of a robotic way of acting and reacting. You completely miss everything that's going on around you. You rush out the door, you're throwing on your coat, grabbing your briefcase and your keys, and you're thinking about the talk that you have to do at work or what's coming up today, and you're not noticing where your body is, how it's moving. This could cause accidents, but it also takes you out of the moment and starts to numb you and numb your awareness of what's going on around you in the moment. So mindfulness is definitely a key help that can, the more you practice it, will get you to know your own mind. So yes, mindfulness brings your body, your mind, your emotions together in a moment. But it also starts to train you to understanding how your mind works, where it's deceptive, where it pushes things aside and goes into denial, where it chooses not to pay attention to certain little sounds that you're getting from your higher self or your inner self to pay attention to this, that, or the other. So that mindfulness, and then the meditation. The meditation is the space where you go into that emptiness, you go into a higher frequency, and you experience. You experience the moment of expansion. And in that moment of expansion, you experience a connectiveness. Now, perhaps before you get there, you may experience a lot of noise in discursive thinking and chatter in your own mind, or you might start to notice feelings that you don't want to have and you want to push away. And so there's a tendency to give up with some people on meditate. They'll give up before they really get into the practice of meditation because they don't like the noise in their own heads. Now, consequently, the inner reality and the inner landscape is reflected in the outer world around us, what we're seeing. And we're seeing a massive amount of chaos and change right now. And sort of depending on your perspective, you're seeing this as disastrous or you're seeing this as miraculous. As we start to peel away the old and watch it fall away, we really can look under it with discernment and we can see what's developing. We can hold to that energy of the new earth, the new world, a world of more compassion and understanding. And we can move through the world more compassionately and understanding ourselves, thus bringing that energy, really strengthening it in our own field and bringing that energy field into the world around us. So there is, tremendous amount of effect that each one of us can have by creating sort of that solid inner peace within ourselves. So, discernment, you might want to think a little bit about that. Hopefully, you can join us on the 10-week series. They're recorded, so you can, if you miss one of them on a Sunday morning, then you can go ahead and listen to it anytime during the week because we'll send it out right away. So these are practices that we listen to and kind of make the commitment to come to as a group and, go forward into our days and into our specific lives with that energy behind us, with our own minds and our own inner beings sort of seeking that quiet and that place where we can develop that discernment, that higher frequency. And we can move away from the discursiveness that we see, the divisiveness that we see constantly in our world right now, the separation. We can move away from these things and we can move into wholeness. And when we're whole in ourselves, we're feeling a lot better and we're clearer in the choices we make to take care of ourselves and keep ourselves in a holistic and a whole perspective. So hopefully you can join us on one of these 10-week empowerments that come up, or you can begin to listen to this and meditate on discernment yourselves. And you can notice the places when you start to practice your mindfulness. You can notice the places inside the self that have a tendency to judge or a tendency to discriminate, and you can recognize that discrimination and that heavy judgment can really create the separation. And with separation, we have no understanding of another person's plight or issues. And we start to actually see other people that are different than us and have different ideologies or different ideas or different political stances. We start to see them as the other, and we stop seeing them as human. We stop seeing them as whole. And in that type of separation, the judgment and discrimination becomes really a greater wedge. So I think by taking a few moments to think about this, you can understand how discernment can really be beneficial. And you can understand that to get to those places of really developing your inner knowing and discernment, you might need a couple of the tools like meditation, right thinking, coming to a group and having discussions, um, mindfulness. So hopefully you'll have a wonderful day and you'll be mindful of taking some time out, maybe to be on the earth or with nature today, and to really watch your thoughts, watch your mind, and curb it if it's going to some place that doesn't work for you, and start to understand why it's going to that place. So have a wonderful day, and we'll come back with a few words with our next check-in wisdom word soon. Have a great day. Blessings.